Good afternoon, people, and thank you very much for the invitation, and a very special thank you to Sindrome for changing the consensus document, the Max Appeal consensus document, into Spanish. It's now on the Max Appeal website, and thank you as well for changing the schedule to accommodate my flight. So I'm Julie Wootton, I'm the Chair of Trustees for Max Appeal. Max Appeal is the national support group in Britain. It's named Max Appeal. It was our sort of fundraising banner, but people liked the name Max Appeal, and instead of saying BCFS support group or DiGiorgio support group, people were phoning up and go, is that the Max Appeal? So after about a year or so, we just stuck with Max Appeal. Max was my son. He was quite sort of fairly severely affected. He died when he was 4 months old, got complex heart defects and a very poor immune system. Had to have most of his bowel removed when he was 4 days old. He had like a stoma, a bag, and just got septicemia and died. So, this, 15 years later, this is where we're at. If we're really pleased if you can get onto the website and have a mooch about and see what we get up to with Max Appeal. This is the screen grab of the website, and that's our Facebook and Twitter address. Don't use the Twitter that much actually, but the Facebook, you have to be a member of Max Appeal to be able to get onto the Facebook. It's a closed group, and people are discussing fairly sort of private things, and so it's got to be a secure forum, and people get on very well with each other. I think it's 650 individuals now having conversations on Facebook, and just shy of 800 families that are members, and individual membership is about 2,500, and that includes our professionals, experts and all that sort of thing that we keep in touch with as well. So that, it's expanding rapidly all the time, and we find that now that we've got the new website and people can join online and they can go and do the Facebook group, things are really sort of motoring. People are feeling a lot more confident about coming out of their houses, sitting behind the computer, getting to know somebody. You speak to somebody, have a conversation with them over a period of a few months online, and then when it comes to something like 22 Zoo, they're all getting in touch with each other, going, oh, you going? Oh, I'll meet you there, it'd be lovely to see you in person, we must have a chat and a cup of coffee and that, and it's really working well. So the consensus document is a minimum set of guidelines. Principally, we've got about 60 experts, doctors and so forth, got together to write it on all of the sort of main aspects, different chapters on the main aspects of it. As I say, Sixto's translated it into Spanish, and you can get it on the website, or if you wish, email us and we'll send you a hard copy. Okay. With the consensus document, we decided that to try and elevate it to just a little bit higher level, we had a launch at the House of Commons. So we got as many MPs and so forth as we could, loads of people, the right bunch of reprobates on that photograph, didn't you see when you haven't got your gun now? And it was a very nice day, but we've also now planning an all-party parliamentary group. So that means that twice a year we will have meetings at the House of Commons, so that we can get speakers in and encourage the local MPs to come and listen to, if they're sitting in the House, they're obliged to turn up to listen to what the issues that their constituents are facing, and then they put pressure on the local health authorities to provide the services for the people. So this is quite a big thing for us, and we're having to work quite hard to get the required number of MPs signed up. All that aside, the main focus has got to be on the individuals, the families, the members, the mums, the dads, the kids, the babies, and they're real people, and all of the people in that photograph have the deletion. So what do? Well, we get them. This is quite an old photo, but I love it. We do all sorts of things. We give them wellies and put them in muddy puddles. We have tents that we go and sit in damp fields in the rain. We go up the pub, and as you can see, this is the one on the end in the yellow. That's Zach, and we didn't invite him out again because look, he's finished his beer, fallen asleep. He's just no company at all. So dead lots of them. We have more outings. Horses are very popular. People like it. Take them on walks around forests. You know, see if the Red Riding Hood or preferably the wolf will be there. We get science fiction characters to torture them for us. Well, around the campfire, I like that one right on the bottom at the end, because you can see that although everybody's around the campfire, none of them are looking at each other. But that is communicating for most of our 22 teenagers. So that in itself has been a breakthrough on many occasions. We dangle them in thin air from pieces of string. We give them sharp knives. Some people thought this was a dangerous thing to do, but you know, we didn't lose any fingers and no eyes came out or anything, you know, the attention was it, what? But that didn't happen. No, this day seriously was a cooking day. So we got a load of teenagers together, sat them down in the morning and they had to plan a menu, then they had to budget it, then they had to go to the shop and buy the food, then they had to come back to the camp and cook it, prepare it, learn how to use a knife professionally, and then cook it, and then eat it, and then sit down and discuss which of them they thought did a good job. And they're sort of trying to encourage a sort of life skill, and as well, a bit of sort of team building, communicating, and planning and forward thinking. So it seemed to tick a lot of boxes, and everybody's dead keen for that to happen again. Yeah, bows and arrows, those are very popular as well. This was another type of weekend that we do, which is like woodsman skills. So we do the bows and arrows and guns. They like guns quite a lot. But it's one of those things that because it's in a non-competitive environment. So the last one we had was about 3 weeks ago. And around the campfire in the evening, I think we got 29 children with the condition, all mingling together and going on. And the parents downed, I think, 3 or 4 cases of wine as well. And that sort of livened up the conversation a little bit as well. But it was a really good event again, but it didn't rain that time, fortunately, which is... It wasn't in Wales though. It would have rained.
Would have rained.
We cast them adrift in open boats. Again, was sort of team building things to try and, you know, understand safety. You've got to put your things on, you've got to prepare the equipment. This is how to use the boat. You've got to do that, and you've got to do that, and you've got to do it at the same time, otherwise it's not happening. So all again, nice, fun things, taking them out of a comfort zone. And certainly, if they'd been in a mixed population of kids, then they probably wouldn't feel as confident, because there's always, when you go out with a school trip, there's always the smart ass, isn't there? There's always the one that's brilliant at everything, and that doesn't happen. They feel a lot more sort of secure when they're on the 22Q splash camps and camp weekends and so forth. So it's a confidence issue. 22Q at the zoo, I have to say that when Donna said we ought to get everybody going to the zoo, I thought it was a really naff idea. That is really naff. Nobody's going to want to go to the zoo. Yeah, what did I know? We had, I think, 350 people attending 10 zoos around Britain this year. A bit more than that. And what we do is we try to get them all to buy the t-shirts and what have you. We've also got a little mascot on the bottom there. That's Maxie Bear in his mascot outfit, and the little kids go absolutely crazy for it. It's actually my son, but you know, nobody knows it's a 14-year-old child in there. It works, and they have an absolutely spectacular time. And as soon as people get back from the zoo, they're all putting their photos in, going, "Had a fantastic time. Which zoo are you going to go to? Oh, I'm going to go to this one next time." Yes, see, I couldn't make it. We were ill. We're going to do it next year. Everybody's up for it. It really is quite wonderful. I mean, it costs Maxfield quite a bit of money, because what we try to do is subsidise the tickets so that everybody with 22Q goes for free, whether they're an adult or a child, plus a carer goes for free. Any child under 12 is also free, irrespective of whether, just so that we can get the younger siblings in. And any other adult or any other child over 12 years of age is 10 quid. So, it's a good deal. You can get the whole family going out for £20. To do all of that sort of stuff, you've got to get your begging bowl out, really, and getting the money in, doing the fundraising is probably one of the biggest challenges that we've had over the last sort of few years, particularly with the economic slump. People can only really afford to donate to charity what they don't need themselves. And when times are hard, that becomes spectacularly difficult. So one thing that we've found is that if people use their business contacts, to lots of companies now, instead of doing team building events and things, they do their corporate social responsibility. So this year we've had a firm of solicitors, and they raised £26,000 for us, which gave us a really big boost. Last year we had a construction firm, some project managers, and I think they were up to about 18,000, but they're all in Birmingham, and it's called the Black Country, it's called the Birmingham Mafia, part of the Black Country, and they're all very, very competitive. So when the solicitors found out how much the project managers had made for us, they thought, damn it, we can do better than that. So, and it's a really good way of getting the business people, because they like doing it as well. They get out and about, they're going to do it. This is a muddy challenge, you can see, which they seem to think was fabulous, and I thought was utterly ridiculous. It's a 10-kilometre run through ice, razor blades, electric wires, barbed wire, big pits full of ice cubes. I mean, real loonies, but they seem to do it. And then they did 3 laps around Snowdon in and if you look on the pedometer on the bottom there, this isn't a fix. They genuinely walked 22.11 miles. Is 3 laps around Snowdon, which is quite an amazing one, that. Okay, another nice thing that we're doing at the moment, one of our parents is a train driver, and he has organised with his train company for a train, not dissimilar to this one, to be called the Maxfield Express. So we're going to do King's Cross and Pancras, and we're going to have the big ceremony and a couple of MPs and all this sort of stuff, and they've said that we can wrap it. So this is the Skyfall one, the James Bond one. But instead of being Bond, it's going to have the Max Appeal logo, and the teddy bear is just going to be wrapped around all of the carriages, which is really nice. And then we've got tickets, so the train itself will run from Peterborough to Brighton, and we've got on the train naming day, we've got about 100 places for people to join us either at King's Cross and Pancras or Cambridge, which ironically is where 2 of the specialist clinics are as well. There's one at Great Ormond Street and there's one at Adam Brooks in Cambridge. So we'll be able to get some of the members of the specialist teams to come and join us on the platforms, to come and to have a train ride, and then go and have a picnic in a park, a wildlife park just up the road. So it's going to be quite a sort of big issue. Furthermore, the reason I put the Queen in is because the Queen sometimes uses that track on that ride when she's going to Sandringham. So it would be really nice to think that maybe one day the Queen will be sitting in the carriage going, "Ew, Vic, what's that bear doing there?" That'd be really cute. So publicity and awareness. Right, that was a rubbish accent. So there's lots of really serious stuff to do, and there's lots of really fun things to do. And I think what we're really lucky with Max Appeal is that we're now getting to the point where we've got quite a lot of people that are really just having a good bit of fun with it. They're getting the support, they're getting the information, but they're also forming their own community and their own relationships, and that's really feeding it. And I'd really encourage you to join your own support group. and to start talking to each other. Life becomes a lot easier when you can spread it a bit more thinly. Okay, thank you ever so much.